Hello, everyone. My name is Kay, and we're bringing to you a playthrough of the demo for the game Unquiet Grey. This game is a bit more depressing than some of my other games that I played. I do like emotional storyline games. I don't know, something that tugs on the heartstrings from time to time. Not always about action based and stuff like that. The blurb for the game states this: you can't save him, but what if you could meet him again? Unquiet Grey is a heartbreaking time loop visual novel about a troubled young woman and the kind-hearted musician she loves through countless lifetimes. Let the gameplay begin. I like the title screen here. Clearly, giving off the whole musician vibe with the strings for the notes, I guess. God, I used to be, I used to play the piano, play the guitar, play a couple other instruments as well, but I couldn't tell you anything about what's on the paperwork, what the notes are. Like, I could read the notes themselves, but if you said G major, G minor, I wouldn't know what you're talking about. I had to look at the notes to be able to figure out what keys to hit or like that. But it's Unquiet Grey. It's musical. It's got a musical thing going on, and then it's cracked. So, and then we get the actual gameplay portion of the overlay, which is, I think it's supposed to mimic kind of like a phone, which is cool. So many visual novels have just the mundane layout of icons at the top or icons at the bottom. Not so much icons at the bottom, more like words at the bottom where below the actual dialogue and script is. So this is a bit different. I like when people make game layouts a bit different than usual. Makes them stand out more. You wake up beside the road. And there's dirt in your hair and caked under your nails. Your limbs are heavy. Your mouth tastes like iron, and your head pounds like a spike's been driven through it. And you groan as you try to move. Fabric rustles, soft against your cheek. It's a jacket, 3 sizes too big for you, draped over you like a blanket. It slips off your shoulders as you try to sit up. It's dark out. A thick fog hangs in the air around you and chokes out the breath from your lungs. You can barely see a few feet ahead. Weakly, you shuffle away from the road, gripping the jacket tight. Okay, you're gonna look around. It's kind of a bummer that look around was an option, because it'd be really cool if you could just move the screen around, look at the environment around you. But in this game, you can only move like a very minuscule amount of the actual screen. They made it seem like you would be able to fully look around this area, but that's not the case. So it kind of like, it kind of lied to us right there. I feel like it would have been better if they just allowed us to click on look around without actually having any kind of movement to the game itself. The movement is actually nice. I do enjoy that, but I don't know, it feels like I was lied to when it said to look around and I can't. We can't like look very far though. Fog, tarmac, green black, slush on the side of the road, more dirt than snow. You don't know where you are or how you got here. The last thing you remember is loud music pounding into your skull. and the bitter taste of room temperature beer. Examine yourself. Kind of makes you have this dreadful feeling right now. Like you know what happened, considering the last things you remember is loud music and beer. And now you're in the middle of nowhere on the road, dirt under your nails. It doesn't scream of anything good that might have happened, you know? Feel a little bit of trepidation. You're not in a pretty state. Your hands are scraped, your cheek stings, your head is still throbbing. Makes you think that maybe you got into a fight, a scuffle, and you didn't come out the winner. You look down at yourself. You're wearing a soft knit turtleneck jumper, short skirt, leggings, black lace-up boots. It's cute, comfy, ill-suited for a trek in the snow. You feel around your skirt pockets. No phone, no wallet. Only half a tube of cherry lipstick, dark as a bruise. Even the description is like dark as a bruise. It's making you lean towards something. But you don't know if that something is what you're making up in your mind that might have happened or if it actually did happen. You don't remember how you ended up like this. At least you remember your own name, though. It's Rose. Your mom said you were the perfect little flower she always wanted. You hope she can't see the mess of a person you are now. Check the jacket. Fine twill. Silky smooth lining. Literal silk. Crisp cuffs with engraved buttons. The kind of tailoring that screams designer. It smells like smoke and damp, and underneath that, the faintest whiff of burnt vanilla and sandalwood. You put it on. You're freezing, after all. And you have to scrunch up the sleeves to get your hands through them. The jacket reaches to your knees. It's definitely not yours. It's a man's jacket. Practical and not bad looking. You've never seen it before. Your uncle only wears lumpy wool coats. What are you doing with this? Check the pockets. You dig through the fleece-lined pockets and feel the heft of a flat, smooth object in the crinkle of leather. A sleek phone and a sleeker wallet. Shit. Did you steal somebody's jacket? Or take it by accident? There's no way anyone would just hand things to you, right? If we check the wallet, we might see an ID. It's sleek black, hand-stitched. Real cowhide, not that polyurethane crap that gets passed off as leather. Inside is more cash than you've ever held at one time. Credit cards, a slightly crumpled photo of a German Shepherd, and an ID card. You really hope you didn't steal any of this. Check the ID. Ooh. Is that like a younger, more stable looking Sephiroth? A man with pale hair stares out blankly from the plastic. His hair is so light, you can't tell if it's white or blonde. It hangs down his back, longer than some women keep it. You read off his name. Corin. Corin Hunter. His birth date says January 29th, 1999. Huh. So he was born the same year as you. Same day of the month, too. Just 2 months ahead of you. Your chest tightens and your head starts to throb even more. And that can't be right. There's no way this man could only be 16 like you. Try the phone. Fake ID, maybe? I don't know. You don't know where you are. You're freezing and you feel like shit. The smart thing to do would be to call for help, right? Even if it turns out you robbed someone. You hold up the phone and flick it open. Flick it open? Oh, okay. Not really flick it open, like activate the screen maybe. The smiling couple lights up the screen and for a few stunned seconds you don't move, letting it fade back to black. You flick it open again and stare. Huh. The woman on the phone screen is you. Or at least, she looks uncannily like you. An older, gorgeous version of you with long hair falling in perfect waves down her shoulders. Flawless makeup. So light looks like her skin's natural glow. White teeth. Just the right amount of gloss on her lips. But the biggest difference is that she's smiling. The kind of aching, full-hearted smile you only see on people with something to live for. The kind of smile you don't ever remember making. You try to stop your hands from shaking and swipe the phone screen again. Maybe this will make sense later. Maybe your mom had some relative she never had the chance to tell you about. A secret twin? You just need to get out of the cold first. Back to a world where strange shit only happens in stories and dreams. You hit the emergency call button. No signal. About how your luck usually goes. Maybe you could find out where you are if you unlock it, though. Find some clue as to what brought you here, who you got it from. Or at the very least, open up a torch app. Those exist now, right? Torch app. Try the passcode. You decide to try the man's birth date for the 6-digit code. Oh, like, I'm gonna remember that shit. It's 1999. And I don't know. What was the date? I just know 1999. Okay, thank you. His birthday is January 29th, 1999, in case you already forgot. Clearly I did. I'm gonna remember that shit. Wait. Okay, wait. No? I did that right? 291999? 6 digits? Is it 01? Okay, maybe it's 012999. What are you, an American? It's day first and month and year. Oh my god! This game's called me out. Okay, so 290199. Who even writes it like this? You enter the numbers, but the phone doesn't unlock. It's not his birthday then. It's still odd that a man who looks like he's in his 20s has an ID that says he's the same age as you. Otter, that his birthday is January 29th, while yours is March 29th. Wait a minute, maybe it's our birthday. Otter still that a woman who looks like you smiles up from his phone screen. Your head starts to throb even more. It's too early to give up, though, so you try another 6-digit number. 29 0399. You punch in your own birthday and the phone unlocks. This is starting to feel less like a string of coincidences and more like some confusing, fucked up story that you're only along for the ride for. Nothing makes sense. Really? They just drove past. The sound of a vehicle roaring past you makes you fumble the phone and nearly drop it. You grab it just in time, fingers swiping open the photo gallery when they connect with the screen. 100 more yous stare back at you. You, no, the woman, smiling at the camera. Candid shots of her reading, or walking, or sipping tea from delicate china. The back of her hair burning like fire into the sun. Admiring a rose hedge, holding a bouquet. Wrapping her arms around the man or hugging a German shepherd with its tail wagging. There's dozens of photos of the dog, too, sleeping in odd positions or sticking its nose in the camera, begging for a treat. You scroll further. Earlier pictures from earlier years. The woman, younger. So young she almost looks like you. But even though she's a still photograph on a backlit screen, something about her looks more alive than you are. Something heavy sinks inside you. Your knees buckle like they can't support your weight anymore. You feel like you're going to be sick. You feel sick. Interesting transition here to the past. It didn't say anything about it going into the past, but one moment she was feeling sick to again repeating that she feels sick. And then this is the flashback. It's 11:31 on New Year's Eve, and you've just puked behind the azalea bush on the snow-covered front lawn. You shouldn't have had that third beer. You shouldn't have had any at all, probably. But you weren't about to act like a kid in front of Izzy's beautiful older cousin, whose parents conveniently decide to holiday in New Zealand and leave the house to a bored 19-year-old with better looks than sense. You've always thought you'd rather die than look like a coward. You certainly feel like you're about to die right now. Your head throbs. You're freezing. Your hands are shaking, and not even the cheap perfume you sprayed too much of can mask the smell of vomit after you stupidly wiped your mouth on your sleeve. You hug yourself tightly. You left your jacket inside, but you don't want to go back in yet. Back to the stairs and laughter. Back to the pumping bass music that'll only make the pounding in your head worse. Back to Izzy and Katie's eye rolls and I told you so faces. Back inside just to hide in the toilet. So you sit on the edge of the steps and breathe on your hands as you fight back the tears in your eyes have no business forming. It's 11:35. There's a noise somewhere nearby. You straighten up. You're not scared. Not really. It's not fully dark, Lights are on in the houses across the street, giving a soft glow to the empty night. But you're definitely not alone. You hear it again. The sound of crunching, panting, breathing. And it's getting closer. Your heartbeat races against your will. Your vision gets blurrier. There's a shape now in the lights, melting out of the shadows behind a street lamp. And it's looking at you. So you're a kid. You're drunk. There's an odd shape standing somewhere out there, just watching you. What would you do? I'd freak out. Huh. Weird how she says she's not scared. Not really. But, her body is kind of giving signs that she is scared. Personally, if it was me, I'd go inside. But no. I feel like she's the kind of person that would stay outside, though. Just based on her thought process. I feel like inside would be the coward's route. And then you got the two people who are just like gonna tell her I told you so or whatever. But then you got out here where you don't really know what the shadow's doing or where they came from. I feel like staying outside is what put her in this predicament in the first place. The whole I don't know where I am. Hey, are you okay? The shape is a figure. Two figures, actually. A boy in a thick jacket who looks around your age, and a German shepherd held by a lead. The dog lolls its tongue out, looking inquisitively at you. That explains the panting. Your face flushes even redder. How could you be so stupid, imagining figures in the shadows like you're a child? I think she is a child. Not a young child, but I'm great, having the time of my life. Out here puking. I'm fine, thanks. You mumble something a normal person would say. He nods sympathetically. Family drama? You shake your head. Friend drama, but family drama sucks too. I mean, the only reason I came to this stupid party was to get away from my uncle, but... You launch into a conversation that's closer to a monologue. You probably aren't being coherent at all. You're not sure why he's listening. Maybe hanging out with a sad, drunk girl is better than whatever drove him out of his house at midnight in the snow. Maybe he's worried you're so drunk you'll slip and hit your head. Before you know it, it's 11:59, and the three of you, him, you, and the dog, are sitting together on the steps, counting down to the new year. At some point, he handed you his jacket, draping it over you like a cape. You only notice when you take a real look at him. His hands are tucked in his hoodie pocket, pretending he isn't cold. Strands of hair peek out of his hood, so pale they look silver. His cheeks are pale too, numbed pink by the cold. You'd think he was blushing if you were drunker than you are now. You keep petting his dog and chattering about nothing. Maybe this wasn't the worst way to end the year. It's cathartic talking to someone about all of your woes. If you don't know the person, It's like going to therapy without actually paying for it, like in this game. You get a text the next day from a name you don't recognize. Is that a dog on a keyboard? That was a polar bear at first. Hope your hangover isn't too bad. Princess says hello. Or more accurately, woof woof. You don't remember giving him your number, but the night was such a blur you're not sure what was a dream and what wasn't. You're half surprised he wasn't something you made up in your drunken stupor. Oh, I remember, Princess. But who are you again? Just kidding. Thanks for letting me talk so much last night. No problem. I hope you feel better. You stare at the name in your contacts list. Core. That's an odd name for sure. You wonder if it's foreign. Maybe it's short for something. Cornelius? Corey? That to fit him. Can you imagine if his name was Cornelius? You're not sure if you asked him already. Just thinking about the night before makes you too embarrassed to ask again. You text him back for a while, and the day after too. And the day after that, too. A year later, and you're sitting with him on the floor of his mother's flat, going over university applications. You're bullshitting an essay. He's typing and retyping the same few lines on his laptop screen over and over. You don't know why you've been trying. They both don't look happy right now. You doubt you'll get the grades for it. You never put much effort into school. He's the opposite of you. Perfect grades, prefect, choir and orchestra too. He's the responsible one. The type that thinks too much. The kind that at 17 is already struggling between what his heart desires and what he knows is safe. What would you pick? Go for music, it's what he loves. The fancy university his dad is offering to cover is too good to pass up. I personally say go with what you love, but... Is she going for music because it's what he loves, not what she loves? Because that's a problem right there. But on the other hand, she might not like the fact that his dad is covering the fancy university. It might make her feel like she didn't accomplish it herself. I'm gonna go the music route. I haven't said it yet, but I love the artwork of this game. It's got that romantically wholesome feel to it, where they're not really doing anything romantic, they're just sitting near each other, or yeah, mainly that. When he was sitting on the porch steps listening to her, we were just watching her while she spoke. They're the kind of scenes that make you look at them and be like, oh, that's nice. I'm not that good. I don't know if I can pass the auditions. Are you insane? You're amazing at every single thing you do. You only think that because you can't tell Bach apart from Beethoven. You roll your eyes. He typed something on his keyboard just to delete it again. Come on. You're not making any progress like that. Let's take a break. Princess perks up at your words and thumps her tail. Break means walk, surely. He sighs and shuts off his laptop. You laugh and tug at his hand in a friendly way. Hurry up. You wonder what it would feel like to hold it tight, to feel his fingers squeeze yours. You've wondered a lot of things, like what his lips taste like. Whether he thinks you're pretty. Are they together right now? I don't think he'd be with her if he didn't think that. Whether he's into redheads. Whether he thinks about girls at all besides his dog. It's weird. Whether those long stares he gives you when he thinks you're not looking are because you have something on your face, or because there's something inside your head he's trying to peer into. She is quite the overthinker. 2 years later, and you know the answer to every one of those questions. You're kissing in his bedroom, while his flatmates are getting drunk outside. You strip down to almost nothing, trying not to be too loud as you drown yourself in his taste. I love you, he whispers like an incantation. I love you too. You weave it like a spell into every thought, every heartbeat, every intake of breath before you kiss him again. Later on, you're watching something on his laptop, snuggled close together. He rests his chin in your hair as you lean against his shoulder. You don't focus at all on the film. He mutters something about the woodwinds and the score. His shirt is soft and smells like citrus detergent. A faintly sweet cinnamon candle flickers in the dark as you close your eyes and drift off. Four years later, and you're walking down the aisle of a small chapel, dressed in a gown you made yourself out of a bolt of satin and lace curtains from a charity shop. So, like 7 years now? Because it was 4, and then it was 2. I don't know what the first one was, like 1 year maybe? Oh god, the music. This is a weird wedding song. The sewing tutorials you'd absorbed in your teenage years weren't a waste after all. It's not the nicest place. Not the nicest decorations. You didn't even order a cake. I joke with my friends. If I ever had a wedding, I wouldn't have a cake. I would just have hostess little snacks just stacked up in the shape of a tier cake. But none of that crosses your mind as you take step after step, your veil drifting behind you. Your uncle walks with you. It'd be odder if he didn't, and there's no one else to fill the role. You know he's only here for the free booze. He actually tries to look like he cares today. Mumble something about your parents being proud of you. You forget he's there soon enough. Your heart's both as light as a feather and beating so fast it wants to claw itself out of your chest. When he looks at you, it's like you're his entire world. It feels like the whole world itself stops right then for the two of you. He takes your hands, holds your fingers warm like sunlight. And you know all is as it should be. Man, did it go full circle? Like, depressed girl to happy to exhilarated, all the way back to depressed. Somehow. 2 years later, and you're on the first trip together since your honeymoon. 9 years maybe? Nine so far? From where we were at the very beginning of the game? He loves his job. You often come home to the sound of him preparing some new piece for the children's classes, asking Princess for opinion on Vivaldi or Bach. Wonder how old the dog is. I feel like 9 years old is pretty old for a German Shepherd. And we don't know what age she was when we first saw her. You pretend to be hurt that he values the dog's input over yours. Even you know the difference between Baroque and classical now. At least you think you do. But the funding cuts get worse every year. You watch him work longer hours as the bills keep piling up. The smile you plaster on your shifts, on for you shifts at the department store feels just as fake as the makeup wrapped in fancy plastic that you sell. Month after month passes before you save up enough for the week-long trip you both wanted to take for ages. But now you're here, walking hand in hand, laughing as if all the tension of the last few years has melted away. You ask a passing tourist to take your picture. The day is almost frightfully beautiful. It feels like a fairy tale, and looks just like one too. You walk through the gardens and take in the sights, hoping the day will never end. They look so happy, but I guess looks can be deceiving. But it does. And so does everything else. Does he die? Less than a year later, you get a call from a number you don't recognize. He'd planned an early birthday dinner, since he'd be away visiting his mother. You told not to be too late. He smiled and promised he wouldn't. But now he is. It's late out, later than he ever stays without calling you. He hasn't answered any of your messages. The fancy dinner you made is stone cold. Your hand goes slack as you listen to the voice on the other end. Your phone falls and lands with a crack on the kitchen floor. Your body follows suit. Princess finds you and curls up next to you as you scream and scream over and over into the tiles. He's not gone. You saw him yesterday, or maybe the day before. People don't just disappear like that. He'll be back any day now. He'll be back soon. He'll be back. You're not sure when the last time you ate something was. You were supposed to eat together, no matter how late it got. You're supposed to wait for him. He'd be upset if you didn't wait for him, right? You don't feel hungry anyways. You're not sure when you last slept either. You're not sure what time it is, what day it is. You broke your already cracked phone when you threw it across the room when the messages didn't stop. He was so young. It shouldn't have happened to him. I'm so sorry. Why do they talk about him in past tense? He'll come back. You hope he isn't upset that you can't answer his messages once he decides to call. You don't have the money to fix your phone. He knows that you're waiting for him, right? No, of course he does. You love him more than anything and anyone, including yourself. Of course you'll wait. You'll wait forever. And wait. And wait. And you do see him again. When you're 16 years old, drunk out of your mind and puking behind the azalea bushes on New Year's Eve. To be continued. Is she just mentally retracing her steps again? So this, I'm gonna assume that this is a game about getting through grief. I liked it. I liked it a lot so far. It's interesting to go through the psychology of someone who's, I don't know, been through something like this. How their mind works, basically. I'm interested to see where this goes from here. Because she doesn't remember anything from the very start of the game. Then we get that flashback. So I suppose, I don't know, it could be her brain creating a mental block. But if she's remembering the flashback there, then I don't think that'd be the case. So given the description of the game, it seems like we're just going to go through this on a loop over and over again. Does that mean we're going to get different choices to make through these same loops? Or are we going to go through loops of the different moments, like when they first met, when they went to college, when they got into a wedding? Is she going to be remembering all that? Or is it more like a, hey, let's go back to the start again, to the day he dies, then go back to the start again to the day he dies? It's not going to be like a thing where she's going to try to stop the death. It doesn't seem like that to me from the demo. I feel like just going back through it over and over again would be even worse for your mental health because you're pretending they're there when they're not actually there. The only thing I can relate it to is Sam from Supernatural when the devil was kind of harassing him in his head and he finally acknowledged the devil and then it just got worse. You're not really supposed to cling on to it that hard, I don't think. But I've never been in this kind of situation yet. I don't really look forward to it at all. But yeah, it's a really good demo so far. I really liked it.